I'm an LAFC fan. Diego's a Galaxy fan. Andres is the team with more Mexicans on it. So it's a pretty good mix.
So accurate.
It's a pretty good mix here of opinions. And it was an argument I was on Twitter today. Has Galaxy bottled the domination of Los Angeles and given it to LAFC? So can you confidently say? See, I already see Diego's face there, and I'll present my opinions, and he's typing already. Can you confidently say Los Angeles is still Galaxy's? And let me present mine, Diego, and you can present yours after. Okay. So obviously, there's gonna be a little more bias here, right? I'm an LAFC fan. I hear more about LAFC. You're a Galaxy fan. You hear more about Galaxy. That's just how it works. But I do think LAFC have taken advantage of the opportunity given to them by doing things that Galaxy haven't done for the city, like in the city, and things that they should have been doing all these years. LAFC have been exceptional in their marketing throughout the city. Exceptional. Way more stuff now I've seen around the city and things like that, and around the neighboring area, Los Angeles County, than I've ever seen Galaxy do. Only up until now because they have competition. LAFC's club structure is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. It is one of the leading factors of us winning MLS Cup last year. And this year especially, Galaxy are heavily getting exposed in their structure. It's not good. It's not a good structure. It needs to change. And LAFC is only presenting Galaxy worse because they have something to compare it to. Alongside our recent successes. And we've just better marketing, better talent acquisition, making a name for ourselves has been better. Galaxy are only really kind of doing things now because LAFC have done it. I feel like for the longest time, Carson has just like kind of been sitting there doing nothing, right? And they've just been like, LA's ours. If you're from LA, just support us because you're from LA. No real reason. That's what I did up until LAFC. I just said Galaxy because they're LA. They haven't really done much other than they have their history, which of course is fantastic, right? They have the history. You can't deny the greatness of one of the best clubs in MLS history, for sure. But for the longest time, they've just sat back on that. And LFC have come in, taken charge, and taken advantage of their shortcomings, and are, in my opinion, when you think of LA, for a lot of MLS fans, you're going to think of LAFC now. That's just what I think. No matter how long you've been watching, that's just what it is. So my opinion is yes, we have taken over the city. I don't see us giving it back for a long time, unless Galaxy makes some heavy changes, not just in winning, but in many things, business side, and things like that. Diego or Andres, I don't know, either one of you.
Feel free. Diego, you want to
go? Yeah, I mean, I actually don't disagree with most of the things you're saying, but I think that's still a long ways away from becoming like the centerpiece of the LA teams. Just because you gotta, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we're being carried by our history right now because we have been approaching our football and operations very poorly. I think everything you said is actually very accurate, and I'm not going to disagree. In all honesty, I think we need to seriously step up in a lot of ways. But at the same time, because of everything we've done in the past and how much we have done well in the past, I still think LAFC are quite a ways away from becoming, what did you call it? The taking over LA or whatever you want to call it?
I was dominating LA, like taking over LA, like the team that LA you think of when you think of LA in the MLS, at least.
I think while you're on a good trajectory, I still think because of just everything Galaxy, their history, the players they've had, the impact influence they used to have, still allows them to be kind of like the main name in LA. But that's not to say that if we keep being stagnant like this, LAFC won't take over because they're doing everything right and we're not. And I completely agree with you there.
All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, I think Elijah's onto something in the sense. Like, I feel like outside of America, people, when you talk about LA, they think, oh, LA Galaxy, because you got the David Beckham there. You got,
I would agree,
the Gerard there. You got, people think Robbie like, King, especially from England. You think of them. So you think of Galaxy. Not everyone knows LAFC, but of course, that final against Philadelphia, a lot of people from outside America were like, okay, LAFC is a thing. Also, and LAFC is pulling away because they were also an expansion team, so they're all able to like grow out more, and they had more support in that sense. But also, they have more financial backing than LA Galaxy. They have a bajillion owners, and they're making smart money moves, obviously. But also, you got to remember that Galaxy this year have significantly fallen behind because they did get hit with a year transfer ban for their illegal moves with Christian Pavon because they lied about what type of designation he was going to be used under, and they lied about that. So they got hit.
Totally forgot about Christian.
Yeah, so they got hit with the year transfer ban. So they're not able to bring anyone else in unless they're in the MLS. But obviously, if you want to compete with LAFC, you got to bring in someone like someone from outside of some foreign player. Like they brought in Chiellini. He doesn't play all the time, but still a big name player. But he's also class still, even for his age.
Dennis Bouanga this year.
Yeah, so you gotta think about that because I'm sure Greg Berhalter. Nope, sorry, not Greg Berhalter. Wrong manager.
Ooh.
What's his name? Diego. What's the Galaxy's manager name? I'm
Greg Vanny.
Greg Vanny. There we go.
Yeah,
that's right.
Wrong Greg. Wrong Greg. But yeah, he's talked about how it really didn't help their situation because they also lost a lot of players. Like their right back Araujo, the Mexican, he went to Barcelona, so they lost him. There's no replacement for him, so it's hard to work with that. But at this moment in time, I would say LAFC has the takeover. They're winning the games against them. They're getting to the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying Galaxy can't turn the season around. It's still very early on. They did get their first one of the season yesterday. Chicha looks good coming back from injury, and he looks like he's going to put the team on his shoulders this season. So I think at the moment, LAFC's got it. LA takeover completed. Also, they're in fucking LA. They're actually in the city of Los Angeles, and they're on the outskirts. So,
love you for that, Andres.
But I'm just saying, yes, I like going to Galaxy games because I don't have to go in the heart of LA. But LAFC is in LA. It's like the Angels. It's like they're not the Los Angeles Angels. They're in Anaheim. So
they are the Los Angeles Angels, but they're technically the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I that is a key thing. I think that this kind of plays into the marketing too. Diego and I have had countless debates over the whole Los Angeles thing, right? You can believe what you want to believe. I'm gonna have to poke fun. Half it's true. Galaxy aren't in LA. They're around LA. LAFC's in LA. Right next to the USC, right next to the Coliseum, things like that. And that's a huge ploy because their whole thing leading up to this is we are the people's team. We are the people of Los Angeles. We want to be their team. The people who can't afford to go to these games, I mean, that doesn't really matter anymore. But the people who, don't have a local team to support because Carson's too far away, right? We want to be that. And I think that's been good. That's gotten the support. 3252, I think. Once we started our fan section, the 3252, everyone went, I don't want to say went crazy for him, but that was like a big talk. Is that okay? Look at them, they love this team, and they started. And I think a lot of people were thought, okay, it's their first season, they're gonna die down, and they haven't, right? Just because of how accessible this team is, the people, the audience they want to appeal to, and I think they've been doing really good. I think Galaxy, in recent years, Galaxy haven't even had an audience that they're trying to appeal to. You have to appeal to a certain group of people in order to come to your games and do that. I can't confidently say that Galaxy have anyone. It's just, I want to say Galaxy fans, already Galaxy fans, is that, and there's plenty of them, right? So they can rely on that. But they need to appeal to new people because the MLS is growing. There's way more fans than ever, and if you have a crosstown rival. An LAFC that's successful, well run, well managed, well presented, throughout social media, throughout markets, things like that, you're gonna lose out more often than not. So, I mean, it's definitely possible. This is one of the biggest rivalries already in MLS, alongside Seattle, Portland is up there, things like that. It's possible. Like, think about Tottenham Arsenal. Same city. Equal amount of fans, give or take.
Equal bottling, too.
Equal amount of bottling. We always go back to this bottle job, it seems.
We do.
But yeah, it's possible. They can do it. They just haven't done it.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, the two best teams in California, look. San Jose, get the fuck out of here. Just lost to Monterey Bay. Get the fuck out of here. But
they did. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, shout out Monterey Bay, by the way.
Monterey Bay's like 2-3 years old too.
Yeah, USL. Shout them out. They just beat them in the U.S. Open Cup 1-0.
So we love USL. I need to go to a Loyal game. We should all go to a Loyal game.
That would be sick. Landon Donovan, I met you. Hit us up.
Has he?
Get us some tickets. Yeah, at one of my academy games. That's
pretty cool.
I met him.